Hi, this is Mike Torsha, and welcome to Live Well and Thrive. I have a very special guest today, Kyle Cassidy
Yes, sir.
from Ice Pass, LA. It is an incredibly new concept. It's not just going into the cold plunge or doing a sauna, but it's a social experience where he brings together people, whether they just want to come and experience it together or they're going out on first dates. Yes, he also has a singles night, which seems to be very popular. Over 100 people attend every time he has these events, but it's bringing together a community. So it's passionate people that care about their health and care about getting to know other people that have the same desire to have a high quality, healthy life. So, Kyle, welcome to the show.
Thank you. That was beautifully said. I truly have a passion for seeing people connect. And I think community is showing up even on those days where you don't want to show up. And everybody can come up with an excuse of why they don't want to get in the cold plunge. But when you have a lot of people that you can connect with at these events, it makes it so fun to just come and see people on a new basis and then run into the people that you know. So it's been a lot of fun to see it grow, and I'm excited to see where it continues to grow.
Well, I like how you've made this a social experience, a community where people can get to know each other. Because, what I found in the fitness industry,
Yeah.
we like to go out with other people that share the same common desires and goals. But when you go to a club or other restaurants or just out in general, it's hard to kind of find those kind of people that are same mindset.
Right.
And with your concept of this community, you're grooming, potentially good friends, mates forever.
Totally.
I mean, the social component of it is beautiful because I feel people in the fitness industry are gravitating towards each other. But how do you meet another person like that?
Right.
Because everybody's so busy working. But with your program, it's like a community. It's a support group that helps kind of cultivate what you're doing and share other experiences. I like the fact that your tubs hold two people.
Right.
Especially if you're on a blind date or a date for the first time, you're really going to get to know someone.
Totally.
You know how they say is you got to be vulnerable
Yep.
to let someone into your life. Well, damn, if I'm half naked and I'm in that tub with some other woman, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I can't act like a pussy and be
Right.
like, I'm freezing my ass off.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, I can handle this.
This is
even
easy.
though I'm not, I'm showing how tough I am.
Totally.
Because you don't want to show weakness, of course, right?
Totally.
So you gotta. I figure if I have a woman in this tub, I am not gonna be the pussy. Okay.
And it's fun too because you see the women actually stoically step into it as well because they don't want to be, I'm not going to be the one to get out first. So like you said, in the beginning of a blind date, a lot of times there's posturing, right? On like a real blind date in the real world. In the tub, there's no facade. You're getting into a space where you have to be yourself. And you have to lock eyes with that person and you're surviving with them. So it creates this amazing intimacy right out of the gate. And we let people know right out of the gate as well, like this event, if you find love, amazing. But let's just connect with the person right in front of us. Take time to really, a lot of us are connecting on apps and through social media. And it's so sad to see my generation and even the younger generation lonely in a time when there is more abundance and more opportunity than ever before. And so I think it's just rewiring a lot of people's understanding of being uncomfortable, and you have to get vulnerable. And if you want to actually connect with someone, they don't care about what you do or the car you drive. They want to know about who you are. So when you get into that tub and you're surviving with the person, it's been super incredible to see the amount of actual connection that takes place. And people that maybe they don't connect on a love language, but they connect as friends, and you're creating friends that you can do business with or you can create events with. And it's started to create like this, almost like a beehive. There's so many different bees that come over and cross-pollinate, and it's community to me is so much about not how can this help me, but how can it help us?
Now, how did this come about? What did you think one day just sitting around and said, hey, I got an idea? How did this come to you?
So I was living with two of my best friends. Big shout out to Michael Lang and Steven Selly. We started a place called The Healthy House, and we rented a house in Santa Monica. And during COVID, we were all isolated. There was nothing to really do. Los Angeles was going through its own growing pains. And I was just in this place of like, really the only time in my life that I was kind of in a fear type of depressed space. Where I was like, God, what's going on? Like, why is this happening? And I felt this overwhelming presence of God saying, create what you wish existed. Don't worry about what's going on in the world. I'll take care of that. But I need you to take action. And so I started to do workouts. I started to do cold plunges, Bible studies, all these different things to just bring people together. We were doing a plant-based potluck at our house every Monday night. And we just saw that there was a deep yearning for people to come together after being isolated for so long. So in 2023, we decided we're going to start the year off with healthy mornings. Every single day, we built our own cold plunge, like a DIY do-it-yourself. Noah, who's now a
Wow.
part of our team, he built us a cold plunge. And we were like, we're going to breathe together. We're going to meditate together. We're going to move together. And we're going to cold plunge every morning at 8 a.m. And that was really for us to kind of hold space and be the leaders in the community who are embodying what it is that we're preaching. But more and more people started coming and they were like, this needs to exist more. And Arion, my business partner, he had the idea of, wow, this is so beautiful, but how can we get this to the masses? This experience, he tells me it changed his life. He was in a place where he was ready to leave LA, lacking community, lacking purpose, lacking consistency. And those healthy mornings like sparked something in him where he approached me and he was like, dude, I got this business model and I think it can really not only create a lot of impact, but create a lot of abundance. And so it helped me a lot because I've always looked at service as my ethos. I've been in health and wellness 10 years. I love to impact people, but the aspect of money can be tricky. And when you're only focused on monetary gain, I think it takes away from the service. Ariane has taught me a lot about how money isn't always evil. And you don't have to look at it in such a way. And there's a way of creating abundance for yourself. And I now have a wife and a child on the way. So it's like all of this stuff is
Congratulations.
happening because the intention was always service. It was in my living room to give people an opportunity to feel what health felt like. And then they'd leave the house and they would maybe integrate that into their practice and help others. And when Ariane approached me and gave the idea, it was so beautiful because we partner with existing gyms, yoga studios, co-working spaces, and we bring the facility, we bring curriculum, we bring events, and I've been putting things together for almost 10 years of just sacred space holding is what I call it. But it's very important that when people come, they feel safe. Because when you're in a space and there's energy that feels almost intrusive, people will put that block up or they'll just leave. When you're putting these events together, community events, the most important thing is that people get welcomed and that they feel safe and that they know kind of what's going on. What is the intention? So a lot of the events, I'll pray at the event or I'll set an intention at the event or I'll help people who you can tell when someone walks in and they feel timid or they feel maybe like they don't belong, like really helping them understand that they're here for a reason. This is something that we're grateful that they're at. And so the healthy mornings at my house turned into, we're almost approaching the 1-year anniversary of Ice Pass in 2023.
Right.
We opened a Paradiso CrossFit in Venice with just an idea. And we were like, let's see if this can be a proof of concept and if it can catch steam. And what I've learned more and more is the person right in front of you is the most important person. So just serving the person in front of you and creating a team so that you have different skill sets, different people that can come in and help the idea grow. And the goal is like introduce people to contrast therapy. But I've been teaching yoga. I've been a personal trainer, life coach, breathwork certified coach, incorporating all these different facets of wellness and longevity into the person that's right in front of you. Because when they show up, you're going to tell what they need. So each time somebody shows up, I'm able to kind of see what it is that they're yearning for and be able to kind of tailor it to them. And then with these events, now giving other people opportunity to come in and share their gifts. And the sky's the limit. I'm so excited to see where this is going to continue to go because I think it's needed not only in Los Angeles, but all over the world.
But it sounds beautiful. So now how does someone get invited? Is it by invitation only? How does it happen that someone's going to be able to go to the Ice Pass
Yep.
and experience this? Do they have to call and make a reservation? Do they have to be referred by someone? How does it work?
So we have two options basically in that regard. It is a membership club and we have very accessible pricing anywhere from $99 a month to $299 a month, almost sliding scale based upon if you want to plunge only, if you want to do the sauna only, or if you want to do fire and ice, which is both. And the membership gives you access to any of our locations 7 days a week. And that's from 5 a.m. until 9 p.m. You get to book your own session. You can go. You don't need any guidance. There's a lot of people who have busy schedules. They can just do that on their own. We have an ambassador program where if finances are tight, but you want to be a part of the community, you can help us with events, setup, breakdown, maintaining the spaces, outreach, marketing. 3 hours a week, you get a full membership. Membership gives you access to any of our weekly socials, our events, and then there's also ways that as just somebody who wants to check the space out, we offer free, we'll work with anybody. Never do we want finances to be a reason why you can't come to an event.
You can come for complimentary.
Of course. Your first time is always free.
And they usually a couple of days before? How much time do you need if they want to make an appointment to come see you?
You can do a day of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then obviously for the Icebreakers events, we'll usually cap those. But you can find all of our events on our website, icepassla.com, our Instagram, icepass_LA. I have a newsletter that I send out every Monday night, and it's 2,500 people. And all these people that have been to our events and have experienced what it is that we offer, it's been really fun. And I got this idea from David Paradiso. He's sent out a newsletter every Sunday for 10 years.
Wow.
Since he opened the gym. And he says it's such a cool way to kind of feel into the heartbeat of his business and also to showcase different members. It's been so fun to see all the different people that come into our community and that are attracted to, like you said, just wanting to do something, have that third place outside of work that you can come and the bar is not as exciting as it used to be for a lot of people. So a place where you can gather and it's like a watering hole. You come in, you're doing your contrast therapy, but you can also build lifelong friendships and relationships that are
do you have
amazing.
like a cafe, elixir bar? So when people come there, they can have healthy beverages? Is there something set up in there?
Yeah, so at our events we do.
Okay.
But that's something that as we grow, like right now we're about to open a location at Mudwater. Mudwater is a coffee replacement. It's a cacao elixir that has adaptogens and turmeric and black pepper. And so that will be like a cafe that lives at our location.
Oh, that's great.
We have a gentleman, Mark, who comes in and he has a tea experience. And he brings tea from all over the world, and he'll tell you about the tea and the health benefits of the tea, and it just adds to the experience.
It's so powerful, tea.
It's
People don't realize
incredible.
I drink a lot of tea. I'm a big tea drinker.
It's a potent medicine.
You know, it could be for relaxation. It could be for stimulation.
Right.
To help you get centered. It could be for joint pain, all kinds of disorders. The Chinese have had all this centuries of creating this magical herbal formulations in tea and so on. So I am totally convinced that what you're doing is beautiful. You have all the elements.
Totally.
And the right intention.
Yes, sir.
That's the most important thing, right intention.
It's so important.
Now, so tell me how it goes. Like, say that single night.
Yep.
So how does it begin? Okay, people just show up. Do you like size out and like, I like her. So, how does it work? I mean, if I was to walk in, I'm like,
totally.
I mean, you know, I don't want to be like superficial, but I'd rather go with a very attractive woman that's kind of slender. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
So how does it work? Like, does the guy go up to the girl? Does the girl, how do you match up the people that are going to go in that tub?
We gave this a lot of thought because, you know, it's one of those things that's already a challenge to show up and not know who you're going to go into a cold tub with. So we do it blind. So as the ladies come in, they write a number down. And as the gentlemen come in, they write a number down. And we put them into two hats. And as everybody's entering, it's just kind of like a mixer at first. We have a couple of vendors set up. Everybody's just kind of getting to know the space, getting to see each other and just enjoy each other's company. Each person that arrives, they put their numbers into a hat. And after the introduction, we'll usually do some form of like a guided experience. This last one, we did a sound journey. Olo, which is a company that creates amazing sounds, and he's been a composer for 15 plus years, and he added some of the rainforest sounds into some of his compositions, and it was incredible.
Oh.
So we guide them on a sound experience, or we'll do a breathwork experience or something to just get them into their body. After that experience, boom, you're picking who you're going into the plunge with. So we'll ask the ladies to come up and pick from a hat, and they pick a number, and that number pairs them with their blind date. And so if you don't connect with them maybe physically, the goal is to understand that the connection physically is skin deep. That's a big part of it, but it's only a part of it. So if you don't connect with the person physically, you're going to get to connect with them on a mental, maybe even a spiritual level.
You'll be your next best friend.
Yes. And then as you do the plunge, if you see that, hey, maybe we're not going to be life partners, afterwards, you can go on a second date with somebody in the sauna. So I invite people when we're doing that pick your partner type deal. If you do have eyes for somebody, don't be afraid to ask them, hey, do you want to go into the sauna with me? Like, I really like to kind of create this opportunity to see for people to ask others out. I feel like somebody's...
wait, I got a question though. Now, since you're putting out a hat, I mean, if I pick out of the hat, I want to make sure definitely going in there with a woman.
Of course.
Or because, so what do you do? Like,
so we
that situation, because what happens if the person's gay or she's a lesbian? You know what I'm saying? No
We have had,
disrespect.
no doubt at all. We have given this a lot of thought as well. Thus far, we have only done heterosexual
Okay.
events, and it's nothing against anything. It's just the thing that makes it the least amount of friction in
Yeah.
that type of a process. And that's how we've done it thus far. And I think it's something that when I see the dating and really just, in my opinion, marriage is one of the greatest gifts that we have. Family is one of the greatest aspects of community. So that's a big part of like what I promote personally. And then with Ice Pass, we're non-denominational, right? But we want to really promote this aspect of community and partnership. And why do we date? What is it that we're looking for? So as we continue to do these types of events, I know that's something that we're going to have to think about.
Yeah.
But it is something that thus far, that's kind of been the ethos
No,
of it.
I get it, but I'm sure people are okay with that.
Totally.
But it reminds me, it's so funny when you were describing it, where you put the number in the hat. It reminded me when I was 11 years old and I was at my friend's house and he had a party on a Saturday night and we did spin the bottle.
Yep.
So you had to spin the bottle and see which girl you're going to kiss. So I sort of I kind of like that excitement.
It's fun. It's super fun.
Sometimes, man, I was like, thank you, God. The bottle went to that adorable girl with the pigtails. I was like, oh my God, she looked like that little girl from Brady Bunch. I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Then a couple times, that was a girl that eats all that Chinese food with the bad garlic breath. I go, oh, shit, I got to kiss her.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I got to hold my breath.
Just a quick.
Oh my God. But I can remember the look on everybody's face, like the excitement. And then all of a sudden, if it went to someone they're attracted to, they're like, yes. And then all of a sudden, you see when it goes to that person, they're like, but that's kind of cool because it makes it magical. Did the universe bring you together because of the numbers? And I like the number thing. Numerology is huge.
Definitely.
I have not favored numbers. I do have my numbers.
Definitely.
So do you get to pick your number or you just get a number?
You get your number.
Oh, okay. So it's a luck of the draw.
Yep.
Wow. See, that's exciting. I think what you're doing is really cool.
And what's been fun is we have a very beautiful community. There is usually at each of our events the perfect amount of ratio, guy to girl. So that's been kind of amazing as well, as it shows that it's not just guys that are looking to connect. It's not just girls that are looking to connect. Both are hungry to connect. And I think a lot of people are looking for deeper relationships outside of just the frivolous one-off, hey, let's hang out, maybe have sex and move on. It's like people want to really engage in something meaningful. And so it's been fun to see that and hear feedback from people of like, I've been to a lot of dating experiences and this seems like I've found something that's beyond just my next date. Like it's finding life partners and people that you want to build with.
So what is the range of ages?
I'd say anywhere from your early 20s to, we've had people that are in their late 50s at the events. Okay. And in our community, the membership, there's people who are fresh out of high school, starting college. Our oldest member is in his 80s. So this is a practice that is so beneficial for so many different reasons from contrast therapy standpoint. But the thing that I love so much is the blend of and the diversity of people and age groups. Because a lot of us are in echo chambers. We only hang around, if you're 20, you only hang around 20-year-olds. If you're 30, you only hang around 30-year-olds. I think true community is when you have people from all walks of life, all age groups, and you can actually listen to one another. When you're in the sauna, a lot of times the conversations in the sauna, you learn something. You learn about culture. You're going to learn about an age that you maybe didn't spend a lot of time with. So it's been fun. I grew up in a big family where we had grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, like everybody at one space. And it's where you kind of just feel most alive and you're able to learn the most.
Well, it's like family dinner Sunday night, whether you're Italian or Jewish or whatever it is, you sit out on the porch and you start talking about life and the kids are listening what the parents are talking about.
Yeah.
But here's the situation. So say you did an event, there was 100 people.
Yep.
40 women, now you got 60 dudes. What do you do when there's not enough women for the men or enough men for the women? What do you do in that situation?
A couple different things. One, if a woman goes on a blind date that doesn't go well, she gets to go on a second date.
That same night, you can dump in the tub again with another guy.
Yeah.
So a girl has a few shots at finding her soulmate.
Totally. And that could be, instead of going into the plunge, you go into the sauna. Because sometimes plunging twice in one day could be a lot for somebody who's never done it before. Another thing that we've had done is two guys that are hetero will get into the plunge together to just go through it with a brother.
I was saying, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. There's not enough women tonight, so let's just hang.
Yeah, let's just hang. And what we tell them too is like the community, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to meet amazing people.
Yeah.
So today you're making a friend. The next time you come, we're going to make sure that you're going to be plunging with somebody that
So the
you're
last
looking
event,
for.
let's use a hypothetical.
Yep.
What percentage was women? What percentage was men?
We hit the nail on the head. All 3 of our icebreakers, it was exactly perfect, and we didn't plan it. And as we're going along in the sign up process, we'll see. Okay, we've got 40 men signed up. We've got 38 women. We need to kind of reach out to a couple more women.
Got it.
And so we'll kind of be methodical in that way. But we've been lucky, and I think there's no luck. You kind of create that through the ways that you're planning in these types of events.
Have you done these stats to see how many people actually connected, whether it's a love relationship or just kind of real friend bond? Have you figured out the stats yet, or is it too soon?
We talk to a lot of the people afterwards, and then we'll send them kind of a follow-up, and we'll get that data from them. And it's fascinating that of the 3 events that we've done, about 300 people who have gone through it, there's been 6 people, so 3 total couples that are still couples to this day. And then there's a lot of people who say, I found somebody who I definitely want to hang out with again. So it's very likely that you're going to find a friend. Almost everybody leaves with somebody who they can reach out to, they can connect with. And then there's been six people, 3 couples that are still together.
Not bad. Now, here's another scenario. So say you do the thing, you do the ice, and then you do the sauna, and you go back and forth, and you laughed and whatever. Is there like one of the counselors that you can say, hey, Sally I think I connected with her, kind of say, hey, I'll look into it for her. I'll talk to how does that work? Are you kind of cultivating, or you just say, hey, it's on your own now. You just got to take it from there. If you meet someone, you got to talk to them. We're not going to play matchmaker. So
for sure.
I'm sure that happened when a guy goes, hey, or the girl goes, oh my God, I love Steve. He's such a cool guy. Do they kind of say, can you say a good word? So does that happen? I mean,
anytime that happens, I always let them know this is your opportunity to let that person know. And I think so many people are afraid of rejection, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And what I let people know is it's not rejection. It's just not meant to be.
Yeah.
And being able to be okay with that, I think especially as men, so many men are so afraid to take that leap and ask that girl that they don't do it. And then they build up this resentment towards themselves and towards others. It's like, what do you have to lose? You're going to be alone whether you do it or not. If she says no, it's okay. You build character. And that's kind of the imagery of the cold plunge, right? It's going to be difficult. Asking somebody and putting yourself out there and being vulnerable is never easy.
Yeah.
But the best case scenario, they say yes. Worst case scenario, they say no. You brush yourself
off. Get another number.
keep rolling.
Yeah, right.
Well,
it's so funny. I remember one time, this girl I was dating said, hey, why don't you get Billy to go out with my friend Patty? I go, okay, yeah, maybe they'll click, they're both into kind of working out, whatever. So he takes her out. The next day I see him at the gym. He goes, oh man, this one. My God, the date was amazing. I had such a fantastic time. I said, great, man. Well, you got each other's numbers, see how it goes. So I went out of town and came back, and I see him again. So I said, hey, what's going on with Patty? He goes, he doesn't return my calls. Really? Did you try texting too? He said, yeah. I said, look into it. So I called my girl and I go, hey, I saw Jim, and he said it was the most incredible evening. He said, what? He said it was the most incredible evening. This is the one. She says, Mike. She goes, it was horrible. She was just being nice to him.
Yep.
She's just a lovely soul, but they had no chemistry. She just had no interest in him whatsoever.
Yeah.
But this guy was convinced it was the date of his life and that this is the one for me. Sometimes people don't really read into things.
Totally.
That's why what you're doing is good, because when you start hanging on the fire and the cold and the fire and the cold, and your little meditation and the breathing and experience, you kind of feel like, is there attraction? Because if you can see her checking you out, and go, yeah.
Totally.
But if you're just so much into talking about yourself, which was his problem, because he was good looking and built, but it's all about him.
Right.
It wasn't that she wasn't attracted to him. He just was a very selfish guy.
Yeah.
He was all about himself. He didn't once ask her, what's your favorite color?
Yeah.
What do you like to do?
Right.
So she goes, it was like sitting there with Jay Leno doing a damn monologue, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying I love what you're doing, because you don't need to do a lot of research. You're going to know
Totally.
if this chick is digging you or this guy's digging you,
Right.
because you have that time to let go.
Right.
And if you start laughing at each other, in the ice bath or whatever, and giggling and you're sharing stories, great. But if someone starts doing that monologue, that's what a lot of times people don't like, or a very beautiful woman that just talks about herself.
Totally.
Never asks you one question about, do you have sisters or brothers? Or what's your favorite color? What's your favorite flower? Those are the things that I think would come out more in your environment.
Right.
Because you'd start to say, hey, who is this person I'm in this tub with?
Totally.
Or this sauna, right? So
We have
I
the
dig what you're
icebreaker.
doing, man. You should be like connect with one of these dating app companies.
We're reaching
man,
out
it's
to
such
them.
beautiful to do like an event
Yes.
with Match or what are those other ones that
We
are
do the questions as well. So we'll hand them while they're in the tub these icebreaker questions, because for a lot of times they'll get in there and they're in shock. So these questions are exactly like you were asking, and it helps you to create this connection. And then as you get out, you have more to talk about. They're also a sober experience. So you're not high on drugs or alcohol. You're high on endorphins and dopamine, but that is it's a separate thing that you can then integrate into a constructive and deep conversation of listening. And I think these opportunities, when you get into an uncomfortable situation, you have to observe each other body language wise, eyesight connection. It's like, it's really cool to see that type of an experience grow the way that it is. And to get people off of the apps and into real life, that's kind of the event idea. So it'll be cool to kind of partner with these apps to kind of get people into real life.
I really, because you know what it's like. You swipe left, swipe right. You see the picture, that picture is the best picture. So you always got to look through it to see the worst picture. And the worst picture is usually who they really are.
Totally.
Right? Unfortunately, people do that. But again, I remember when I did it years ago, I just took the picture, had a picture of hanging out with my dog. That was it.
Yep.
Or, hanging out on my motorcycle and cool stuff, or horseback riding. And I just said, I'm not changing a thing. This is who I am. You either dig me or not.
That's it.
I'm not 6 foot tall. This is my height.
Yep.
This is what I do. You don't like that kind of body? Swipe. Right? But a lot of times people will put that Photoshop picture. How many times I see on Instagram these fitness guys, fitness girls, they have these perfect six packs and these girls have perfect butt. Then I see them in the gym the next day. I go, what filter are you using?
Totally.
Because they don't have that body. And let me tell you something, when I show my abs and show my body, that's with regular bright
deal.
light. There's no filter.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not etching in the six pack. I earned it, motherfucker,
Yes,
right?
And that's the importance of embodiment versus flash and show. And for us that are embodying, you don't have to preach. You don't have to do the thing. You do. And I think a lot of people are starting to see through the facade of portraying your life as some way and not actually living that way.
Now, did you ever have a woman come in? She'd look like she's ready to go into a nightclub with the makeup and the hair and everything and the heels. Come on, right? And you're probably like, what the fuck is she thinking? Wait, this is Ice Pass.
Yeah.
This is not, Drago's. This is not Craig's.
We're slowly breaking the mold. That we're helping them to realize that's your old life. Now you're stepping in with a robe on.
Let go. Cleanse.
Totally.
Heal me, right?
Totally. And it's a lot of times for a lot of people, they'll come in with very high expectations, or they won't know what to expect, and they'll leave with like this sense of ease. They're like, oh wow, stuff like this exists where I don't have to put on a facade and pretend to be something I'm not. And I love to help people, especially adults, tap into that inner child.
Yeah.
Like if you're not playing on a date, if you're not laughing on a date, there's something wrong. And for me and my wife, like I need to laugh with her because there's a lot of hard shit that we have to go through in this life. And if you can't find a sense of humor in all of the bullshit that we go through, you need to find ways to take yourself less seriously.
Tell me something. How did you meet your wife?
Teaching yoga. And she came to a yoga class.
Wow.
And I was in a space where I was taking time away from dating just because I moved to LA from San Diego. And the dating scene it was a lot of superficiality. And I noticed it from myself and from others. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to completely fast from everything. And that included,
Yeah. Sure.
all the things.
Cleanse.
And in that, I was able to realize more of who I could be for her rather than what she needed to be for me. And then when I was ready, I was like, all right, God, I think I'm ready for the queen that I want to build a family with and build with. She walked in and it was like, those moments in the movies where time slows down and the angels are flowing above her.
Sure.
And I hear the harps. I was like, wow. So I went up to her after the class and I let her know point blank, like, incredible practice. It was awesome to get to know you, and I'd love to make you some dinner. I was direct. I just
Good for you,
knew.
man.
And she was like, I'd love that. And I made her dinner, and it started very slow, just getting to know each other. And what do you like to do? Do you have family? And she's been in LA her whole life. And big shout out to Clarissa. I wouldn't be the man I am today. We've been together for
Wow.
a little over 2 years,
That's
and
beautiful. Well, you know,
shifted my perspective.
I got to tell you something. That's a beautiful way to end the interview,
Yeah.
hearing your story. But that shows the basis of what you're doing is to pass on what it did for you.
Yes.
Meeting someone in that health environment, that beautiful, vulnerable energy that you share in that room, whether you're
Totally.
doing yoga, meditation, or ice tub, or whatever you might be doing. So thank you for coming on. And I want
you
you to
for having
definitely
me.
come back. And I'm going to send you people. I have a lot of people that are going to
Thank you.
truly appreciate you and what you're doing. And
Thank you.
I'm appreciate it. I feel honored for you to be here.
Look forward to getting you in the tub soon.
I'll be there, I promise.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
Well, thank you for tuning in to Live Well and Thrive. And please, we need your support. Subscribe. Thank you so much.